When people are dying in hospitals, or rather in ambulances because they don't arrive, or because the patient cannot be admitted to the hospital because the A&E is filled to capacity because GPs are no longer on call. When the NHS simply is staggering on its feet and the government is deflecting attention by talking about maths education, there has to come a point where we must stand up and say the government is to blame and the government has got people's deaths on its hands. And we have to look back to the COVID crisis and to clapping, and we need to reflect on what that means. The clap is not payment. The clap is insulting, and it wasn't intended to be. It was intended to be a salute to the hard work by the NHS. And yet what we have seen is the NHS dismantled in front of our eyes, not because of a lack of investment, but because what is left of the NHS is the bureaucracy, while the real people who do the work have gone back to Europe. And we are left with gaping holes that need to be filled. And this was not part of the original Brexit plan. This was something that this particular government and the people who were proposing Brexit simply did not think about. And that, I think, is possibly culpable. They must be held responsible for this lack of foresight. And we must find out what we can do. Not to deal with the NHS now, to hope this problem goes away, is to usher in a trail of death and a backlog of patient care that is completely contemptible, is utterly wrong, and it's going to impact on every part of our society. The government, when the NHS was originally set out a contract with the people to care for the people from cradle to grave. Not to do so is the government's responsibility or lack of responsibility. It's the irresponsibility of the government. It's not about the management of the NHS. It's not about the bureaucrats in the NHS, though many of them, I think, should go. They are failing. And the people who are working hard in the NHS should be paid more, to encourage more people to work for the NHS. What we are seeing is an exodus of the real workers from this country abroad because they are not appreciated. A clap is not enough.